What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to the third and final part of the Usain Bolt experiment, research, whatever you want to call this. It's part 3 now. You guys have been following this for a while. If you've not been, 2 previous parts, go check them out as always. I think they'll probably be down in the related videos, things in the bottom right. If not, you can find them over on my channel. But anyway, let's get straight into this. Last episode, Usain Bolt joined Newcastle. Quick confession I have to make. When I do these videos, I holiday 15 years and then I have the autosave on. But for some reason, the game didn't autosave the 2020 years. So it's actually been 2 years since the end of the previous episode. And today, we're going to be catching up on Usain Bolt's previous 2 years of his career. So, looking at him now, he's now 34. So he's getting on a little bit here, Usain. Looking at his stats, you can see his physicals have declined a lot since last episode, but all in all, he's becoming a better rounded off player. His creativity stat has improved significantly, he's really got his passing improved, and all in all, he's actually looking like a very good footballer now, rather than just being the fast guy who we had at Manchester United who would just kind of run with the ball. Another thing you'll notice is the fact he's now playing for Fulham. So, as I mentioned last episode, we ended in 2019, and the 2020 autosave was lost forever. So in the last season, he played 18 games for Newcastle before transferring to Fulham for 350k in the January window. And since then he's played another season at Fulham. So he finished off his time at Newcastle with 5 goals in 18 games and an average rating of 6.77, which, I mean, wasn't too bad. It was an improvement on the previous season he'd had, where he'd only scored 4 in 25 in the league. And then, as I said, he went to Fulham for 350k, which for the player that he is, that seems like an absolute steal for me. It's not often you'd get a player for 350k who's this good, even if they are a little bit older. So, Fulham got a good deal there, I suppose. In his first kind of half of the season there, he got 2 goals and 16 appearances, and his average rating was one of the worst he's had actually in years, since back when he was at Manchester United, only averaging a 6.38 average rating. In his second season, he has settled into the Fulham side a lot more, 6 goals in 30 games and an average rating of 6.54. Looking at his contract, it's set to expire at the end of this season, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now, whether Usain Bolt continues on at another club or if he retires, if he becomes a staff member, kind of see how far down the football kind of ladder he's willing to drop as a footballer. But all in all, he's looking fairly solid this season for Fulham. You can see he's been playing right attacking mid for them a lot, so he has been playing up front predominantly for years at all the various clubs he's been to, and now at Fulham he's been played in a slightly new position. Clearly the improved creative stats that he now has, his increased passing is making him a lot more attractive to teams to play him on the wing, and it'll be interesting to see going forward. As I've said, where is he going to end up? Obviously retired from international football, his physicals are somewhat on the decline, but the ones beside the kind of the pure pace stats, they're still half decent, so it's going to be interesting, and his mentals have improved significantly as well, which is interesting to see. But anyway, guys, we're going to go forward another year, and we'll see what's up and see where Usain Bolt has ended up. So it's now 2022. Usain Bolt, obviously last season he had his contract expire at Fulham, and he's ended up at Villa. Okay, it's an interesting one. He's 35 now. His contract ends at the end of next year, so he's got at least another year at Villa theoretically before he has to retire. Looking at his stats this year, 36 appearances and 11 goals. Wow, he really has become an essential part of Villa then. 11 goals in 36 games. It's not the best kind of strike record, but to get more than 10 goals in a season is great for a player of his age. He's 35 years old now. Looking at his stats, he's really become a very good player. I can't actually believe how much he's improved. His physicals and speed stats have definitely decreased, but his mental stats have more than made up for it. And looking at stuff like passing and finishing, it's still improving, which is great to see. Obviously, he's had a good scoring record for Villa this year, and he's actually been playing most of his games up front and in left midfield for them. So how many games did he actually play this year in all competitions? He played 56 games. Well, that's pretty impressive, and some continental games as well. So Villa must have been in the Europa Cup, maybe. Where did Villa finish this year? Let's check that. Villa, where are you? 10th Villa finished, and yeah, it looks like they had continental success. They're in the Euro Cup. Where did they get in the Euro Cup? They played a lot of games in it. Wow, okay, they beat Liverpool in the final. Destro getting the goal for Villa. Well, that's an odd one. I'm just wondering if Usain Bolt got any key goals in kind of the semi-finals. They turned around a 2-goal deficit against Newcastle as well. Wow. Well, to be fair, it looks like they put in a shift here. You can see they lost 2-0 away to Sporting, and then they won 3-0 in the return leg in the semi-final with Usain Bolt getting a goal. So he single-handedly, well, I say single-handedly, he somewhat and definitely did help Villa this season. He's been a key player for them despite his age. Coming in on a free, averaged a 6.68 average rating, which isn't the best, but his performances in continental competitions averaging a 7.07 and getting 8 goals in 15 games is absolutely insane. Wow, I can't quite believe this. I was expecting him to maybe go to a championship side at a push and maybe struggle. But you can see here, 19 goals in all competitions. He's doing great, still covering an insane amount of ground despite his age. And wow, I'm a bit flabbergasted. I can't quite believe how much he's contributed this year. It's going to be interesting to see if Villa offer him another contract to the end of next year. Because, I mean, he's 35 now, almost 36. And, I mean, there's not many Premier League strikers who go on to be more than 35, really, and it looks like he's still got something to offer them in terms of his stats. Clearly, his decent natural fitness and his fairly strong physicals are helping to prolong his career, but it's going to be interesting to see what else happens here. So, we'll go forward another year. I don't know what to expect here, guys. This has turned very weird very quickly. But yeah, we'll see what happens in 2023. So it's 2023, and it's time to see how Usain Bolt is getting on. So 36 years of age now, still at Villa. Did he get a new contract? That is the question. He didn't yet. I say yet because there's still time. 36 years old, his stats are continuing to improve in technical areas, which is crazy for a 36-year-old. Looking at his stats now, his speed really is starting to tail off. I say that, it's still 15, but it's not what it once was. His mentals have been really solid and become really solid, and looking at his stats, he looks like a really good Premier League striker. He's only on £23,000 a week. Obviously, he retired from international football now 6 years ago. He's now 36, so he is getting on a bit. And this year, in 36 games, he actually improved on the previous season, getting 36 appearances and 12 goals in the league. And in the continental competitions, getting 4 goals and 10 appearances. So that's pretty decent. Not as many games played as last year, but still 16 goals in 48 isn't too bad. His average rating was great. Villa in the league finished 9th, so that's a minor improvement on the last year. How did they get on in continental competition? Surely they didn't win it twice. Oh, no, they didn't. They lost to Liverpool, who they beat in the final. 3-1 on aggregate, but still, that's not too shabby. It really looks like their form dropped off at the end of the season looking at these results. I wonder where they were in the league. But I just can't believe that Usain Bolt is still playing at this kind of level and playing, as many games as he is in a season. Looking at it, they were always mid-table, I suppose, actually looking at it. But still, Usain Bolt has been an absolute monster for Villa this year. Yet again, it'll be interesting to look at his biography at the end of this to see what it says about him. But obviously his contract is set to expire, but given the fact he has played 36 of 38 league games, I'd be amazed if he wasn't offered another contract. Looking at where he's been playing, he's played 30 games up front, 10 from left midfield, and 2 from right mid, which is where he's played the best. His general happiness, he's still looking to be a scout when he retires. Looking at his favourite personnel, there's a few new guys here. Wilfred Boney is now a favourite personnel. Clearly him and Wilfred Boney had something going on up front. The Ivorian Coast player who Usain Bolt played with up front for Newcastle. All in all, I can't believe how well he's managing to keep going here. He's 36, and I'm just wondering where this is going to end for him. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, yeah, guys, we will go forward one last season now, I think, or at least I'm going to try and find the end of his career. We'll see when he retires and whatever, and we can have a look at Usain Bolt as a professional footballer and kind of his career as a whole. So I'll talk to you guys in a second. Okay guys, so we are back, and Usain Bolt is now 38, almost 39. This is getting a little ridiculous now. His contract's set to expire at the end of this year, which is why I've gone to this year rather than any further into the future. My guess is that he probably will retire at this point. I'd be amazed if he goes beyond the age of kind of 40, if I'm honest. Looking at his stats now, his physical stats really have taken a decline, particularly in the speed area. His creativity, though, has continued to improve, and in fact, he's developed some very, very strong mentals and physicals, despite his poor technical stats. Looking at him overall, still a very good striker, probably a Premier League worthy striker, and it's pretty crazy to see. In the last few years that he's had at Villa, the last two, he's slowly starting to play less games for them. That said, 2 years ago he made 36 appearances and got 11 goals. So again, making the most of his kind of time at Villa and being very consistent, 3 years in a row scoring more than 10 goals and also getting 36 appearances for the club in the league. So clearly an essential part of their first team setup. And then in his most recent year, he only managed 27 appearances and 6 goals, which isn't great. You know, his average rating declined. Clearly, his age is getting the better of him now. He's not fit enough to play every game, but all in all, he's still a very useful player. I don't think they'll keep him on from here on out. I'm going to do one more update when we'll look at his career as a whole when he's retired, but just a quick look at his final stats. I think I can't see him lasting any longer than this. He's on £58,000 a week. Looking at his information, he doesn't have any short-term plans because he's on holiday, but you can see here he's been playing up front on the left wing and centre mid for Villa this year, so still playing a variety of positions despite his age. And to be fair, he's had a very good career considering that when he was created he was 25. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to go forward until I find out what's happening with Usain Bolt post-career. We'll have a look at his biography and analyse his career as a whole. So I'll talk to you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so it is now 2026. We're now 14 years into the future, and Usain Bolt has hung up his boots for good. And he's now chief scout at Stoke, so a bit of a turn of events there. He's now a scout, he's 39, he's their chief scout. Look at his stats, very solid scout for Stoke. Obviously he had no ties in their kind of setup as in a career, but as you can see here, he didn't make any appearances for Villa. My guess is that they never gave him a new contract, and so he maybe stuck around for the start of the season, then got approached by Stoke as a scout. But I mean, looking at his career as a whole, across the 14 years, he made almost 300 appearances in the league and got 75 goals, which, I mean, that's not too bad for a player who started his career so late. This doesn't, of course, include stuff outside of the league appearances, but in terms of his overall achievements as a player, you can see his whole history here. You might want to pause it if you want to kind of look at something in particular, but you can see here he was a good player, that he won the Caribbean Championship on a number of occasions, runner-up in the North American Gold Cup. He was named in the Team of the Week, Newcastle's Seasonal Best 11, Fulham's Seasonal Best 11 twice, inducted into the Aston Villa overall Best 11 and their Seasonal Best 11 3 years in a row. He won the Euro Cup with them, he finished runner-up in the FA Cup, and all in all he had a really successful career at the club. And you can see here actually he got offered the job as scout and then he became a chief scout, so he's moved up in the world even now as a staff member. Honestly, he's had a great little career. As you can see here, Usain Bolt was born in Kingston on the 21st of August 1986 in a playing career which spanned just 8 years from 2017 to 2025. That's not right. Biographies are so broken on this game. Obviously, we know he started in 2014. He got 75 goals and he made his Jamaica debut in August 2012. Has gone to make 80 appearances for his country and score 33 goals. He started his career at Burnley. That's not the case. He started at United, moved to Newcastle, then obviously he went to Fulham and then ended up going to Villa, where he probably had his most successful span, and he hung up his boots at the age of 39, which is a pretty crazy career. And he had no intention of leaving the game he loved. That's quite funny wording considering he's a sprinter, and obviously now he's a chief scout. So all in all, he's had a great little career, our Usain Bolt. It's been interesting to see how he developed as a player, particularly interesting to see how his solid physicals allowed him to play such kind of a long career, and how it helped him to improve his more technical stats, and he was still a very good player at an old age because he had such good physicals. But all in all, I mean, fair play to him. It's been a fun little experiment, this. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Obviously this does wrap it up If you've got any suggestions for future kind of celebrities or sports personnel you'd like to see in Football Manager, let me know. I'm more than happy to do them. And other than that, guys, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. If you're new around here, subscribe to my channel for more Football Manager 2013 and 2014 content when it comes in the coming months. And other than that, it is me, Jack, guys, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.